This week's episode is sponsored by Organic Sunscreen Moisturizer, Sheer Perfection Moisturizer that can only be found on perfectiondayspa.com. Contact Delia today. This week's episode is sponsored by Dollhouse of Tampa Salon and Studio, where the inner doll is created. Styling services they offer are sew-ins, quick weaves, relaxers, facial waxing, eyelash extensions, and much, much more. It's time for you to find your inner doll. Contact Selena today, serving the Tampa Bay and surrounding areas of Florida. And make sure you follow them on Instagram and Facebook. Hello everyone, Vanessa Klinger here. Join us live Fridays, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the KP Media TV network for the Right Along with Vanessa morning show, where we provide you 100% free coaching at your service, raw, real enlightenment at its best. So join us Fridays, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time as we take you higher into the dimensions of God. Join us, won't you? Stay in love. Hello everyone, Vanessa Klinger here. We currently have advertising and sponsorship packages available for the Right Along with Vanessa and Spiritually Speaking and Awakening talk shows. Are you in the beauty, healthcare, auto, hotel industry? Are you a podcaster, light worker, spiritual teacher, and guide? We have interview spots available. KP Media Network provides global access and simultaneous streaming with a global reach of over 160 million. Go to www.vanessaklinger.com/show sponsor. Schedule a free consult now. Stay in love.
You say, I will reign. Hello, everyone. How are you? I am Vanessa Klinger, your intuitive life strategist and life coach motivator.
Namaste. I am Michelle. I am the motivator and your spiritual evolutionist. Welcome into this atmosphere of energy. Yes.
Woo! Riding the wave already, baby. Yes. Welcome to Spiritual Speaking and Awakening, baby. This is the objective of this show. We're going to utilize biblical scriptures and other resources in order to help you, to assist you with expanding your consciousness and learning more about God and coming up higher into the dimensions of Him. I was thinking about that, co-host. How was your week, by the way, girl? How was your week?
It was awesome. Because every time I wake up, it's an opportunity to wake up.
I know. You look amazing. You look amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, you swimming in victory. You swimming in victory. I said, yeah, girl, you swimming in victory. Yes. Okay. I was thinking about this today in meditation. I was taking a nap. And, when you're going up in dimensions, you're actually going to different levels. And I thought I received this picture in my mind, this analogy of being on a plane. When you're going up to different altitudes, the first thing you do is you experience turbulence. But as soon as you start leveling up, then it becomes smoother and the elevation, and you can see things that you didn't see at this level where you were previously. So when you're going up higher in dimensions of God, you're going to experience turbulence at first, but that just lets you know that you're building up momentum, that it's actually working. And
you wouldn't actually jump off the plane because there's turbulence. what you would do is adjust to the atmosphere.
Come on. Come on.
Let's
That's
get
right.
it.
Right. You need to adjust. Hey, that'll preach. Remember, I used to say that day, that'll preach right there. Just adjust to the atmosphere. You got to adjust to the atmosphere. And that's the whole objective of this show. And I feel so honored to have been called and to allow Spirit to speak to me and to attract this amazing host, Michelle Massey Washington. And we've never
Not in person.
not in person, never met, but we're on the same wavelength. We vibe on the same vibe, and
Yes.
that's just a blessing in itself. Because when two come together in agreement,
It's a marriage. They become one.
and then magic begins to happen.
Yes.
Yep, that's right. That's right. Soul group. That's what it's all about in these last great and terrible days of the Lord.
They can be a little terrible sometimes.
I was like, wow, why would they say that? Great and terrible. I'm like, okay.
I think that word was they used the wrong word.
Yeah, I'm sure. They
That's a clash. Just a clash.
Somebody done snuck in and added salt to the oatmeal.
Yeah, instead of sugar. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. So
We good. I mean, this week 11/11 hit the atmosphere.
wow.
I mean,
wow.
You have no excuse. The door is open.
Portals are open.
You have no excuse. The portal of opportunity is just wide open for you to have a will to walk in the greatest version of yourself and define your purpose and declare and decree what it is, not you're trying to be, what you are. It is an opportunity. If you lack wisdom, you can ask. It's just so much stuff that portal opened up. I even compared it to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, where they refused to bow down to the president of that time. And so we've been thrown into this fire and it's been heated up 7 times. But those 11/11, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and then there was an extra one. And so we have the portal that we're walking in fire, that is not consuming us, it's not burning us. We don't smell like smoke. We don't die. We multiply in our energy. It is an opportunity for others to look in and see, how's she doing that with all that smoke in there? How's she doing that with all that fire in her life? So it's and we've had 11/11s before, but this 11/11, I was in another dimension. I mean, it's not like this the first time we had 11/11, but it's the first time I've been this awake and this aware that it is an opportunity to go even higher, to rapture up out of this craziness into what we're going to talk about tonight. But it's an opportunity for you to see from the inside out instead of the outside in.
Right. It truly is. And I'm going to talk about it.
I know it.
Incident that done happened. See, let me explain something to you about how people who okay, when you choose to partner up with the lower vibrational force, right? It's going to convince you and have you thinking and it's always going to imitate, and try to beat God to the punch or anything. So it was all set up. They had the portal open, and all this tragic incidents have. And what was the purpose of that? To incite fear and to suck everyone's imaginary energy. So now everybody's thinking about that instead of focused on the 11/11 portal, the actual portal where you actually can tap in, tune in, tap in, and get turned on, and downloaded to elevate higher. Because I'm going to keep preaching it until I rapture up out of here. This place is not our home.
No.
We are on assignment. You're on
Yeah.
assignment. Your job to find out what your purpose is, discover. And you know what, co-host, there's so much out there where you can really, if you know, and it's you know, and in these young people's defense and everything, they brought up to, you know, raising the generation of visual, and you know, with Instagram, everything just visual, right? So immediately at a very young age, they were hooked, right? So it's going to be very challenging, and that's why it's, you know, and I see it. Everybody that is on assignment, that's been called, that's considered a light worker, a deliverer, a prophet, a preacher, teacher, whatever it is that your badge says who you are. Everyone is standing up from every age group. If you know where to be attracted to and draw it to, I see it. You know, so the thing is, it's your job to discover what that purpose is and do what is necessary. People get caught up in having this and doing that. Oh, you need this. No, you don't. No, you don't. When you realize that you're on assignment, then whoever put you here on assignment will make sure that all your needs will be met. And it was all in that basic instructions before leaving Earth. Girl, that just makes so much sense on it. Now you get the basic instructions before leaving. Okay, so here's your playbook right here.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody got in and contaminated it with misinformation. But because you are on assignment, you know, because you've already been trained to decipher and really interpret what your instructions are. This will help you awaken into your purpose. You will be awakened and you will rise up, and then you will be able to fulfill your assignment. Because make no mistake, in the last days, and remember how when you're in the war zone and they send those helicopters and they drop down that ladder and they pull you up and take you on home. That's my idea of what's going to happen. And I don't know how who or whatever, but that's my idea of out of here. Something going to come and I'm going to be transported up and out, because I know this place is not my home. Now we just rapping tonight because it's just us. We got time to go into everything. But you know what? We need to start leaving this, because I'm telling you right now, this is going to be considered an artifact once you and I are up out of here. But somebody going to be looking at a phone or something, and there it is. And then that's going to be the next group that's going to come and get it. We know how the story is. So share your thoughts, co-host.
Basically, today God was just showing me the scripture that I've always seen forever, but I didn't see it in the manner that I saw it today. But he said, we always say, seek ye first the kingdom. But he said, see the king. And taking that seeking and say, see the king. And when you see the king, which we're going to be talking about tonight, in the mind's eye, you don't look for the separation of things outside of you, because when you see the king, it's inclusive. So this portal that's inclusive to everything that you're trying to seek on the outside, which is temporary. And he said, walk in, if you see me, and I'm not talking about with these physical eyes, but if you see me with an eye, you're walking to all these things. You're walking into the presence. I always say God is present everywhere, but we're not walking in his presence, because he longs to have an invitation to come into your presence, because then it's welcome. If I'm coming to your house and I just come in and you don't invite me in, I just come in, there's a certain type of way I feel. But when you invite me into your presence, right now you're present with me, but I'm not in your presence. But when you invite me in, then there's a certain level of connection and relationship that can occur. But if I just walk in and you don't want me there, that's a bad atmosphere. So see the King, and all these other things shall be added unto you. And things include everything. If you want a relationship, if you desire to have more wisdom, if you want to spiritually meditate, it's so open. Nothing is left out. So when we begin to talk about the scripture, we're going to see where the mind's eye is.
And I want to add to that. We got about 2 minutes about how, that's why you have to remain open. See, when you remain open, then come on in, Spirit. Sit down. You want some water? Get some sweet potato pie over there.
Oh, girl, don't go there.
If you shut off and restricted and
yes, you lock it out.
It said he's a gentleman. You can bum rush in your house now and try to share and like you.
What's an invitation? And that's what I believe being born again is, when you receive the presence of the Lord within you, when you invite. We always say that you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart. But when you invite, he gives you a will. I would rather have an invitation anytime than to just bum rush anybody, because I don't know if you want me there or not. Mm-hmm. So when we allow that door to be open, and I keep telling you, every time when I left Alabama, he said, when you get to Atlanta, every door. And so every day I'm thanking him for doors that are being opened to him, to the different aspects of him. There are so many. So there's no way we can say, oh, I got it, and close the door. No, you can't get it like that. You have to be open.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep, and that's what's the challenging thing about this assignment. But we answered the call, and we knew that it would be challenging, and we chose which roles we would play. We chose which day and age we would return to enlighten people and speak things that seem to be taboo and controversial. It really is controversial, because during my ride along, there are, people were like saying, well, are you saying we should leave the church? I'm saying yes. That one. I said it. Yeah, I said it.
My thing is, we have made the church a god.
Well, but also because, I'm sorry, I interrupted you, co-host.
Go ahead. This one. we've just made. I'm saying, if you have a religion, you only have a religion when you don't have a relationship with God, when you haven't been intimate with God. So a lot of the things that are going on in the church are religious and religion, and they're not a relationship. So if you're attending somewhere where you have no relationship and you're operating in condition and traditions, and a move of the open door is not there, get out.
Anything that mirrors the one source of it all. The gowns, the drinking of the blood, the drinking from the cup, the coming to the altar to bow down. All of this stuff leads to one source. So if it mirrors that,
yeah,
you're just a representation of the main source of the, and I talked about it, the whore of Babylon in Revelation. See, if you've been programmed, then you think, oh, she's delusional and crazy. But if you are awake, and then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I really don't care. I really don't. And what I mean by that is that I know I'm on assignment, so I got to say it. And the thing is that if you belong to a religious institution that mirrors one source, where it's repetitive, where it's inflicting fear, where it's inflicting control. Anything that mirrors that. See, think about it now, Michelle, because if it's I'm in corporate America, and it says that the body of the fish rots from the head first. So if the head is rotten, guess what? The whole fish is bad.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you want to wait, you can hear that, because I'm gonna let you speak.
Yeah.
Now the Apostolic Church, because they sourced it from the book of Acts and Peter and all that, and being baptized and all. They were close, but then here's the thing: where they missed it was that I don't know what happened when it came to like fear, and they focused on a devil, that they missed it just a wee bit. But the thing is, it's all about Christ consciousness. It's not about Jesus. We know that was just an actor. Do your research, people. That name Jesus, that picture, all of it was an actor, because it was staged to keep the program and the system going. So I'm going to be quiet, and I'm going to let you share, and then we're going to run a couple ads, and then when we come back, we're going to be talking about mind's eye tonight. So go ahead and share your thoughts on this, co-host.
My thing is to provide tools, not to teach you anything, but to provide you with tools that will awaken your own inner being. As to when you wake up, it's like in the morning after you sleep. When you wake up and you looking around to see what's going on in that room, because your eyes have been closed the whole time. So if there's something going on in the room that shouldn't be going on, when you wake up, you do something about it. You challenge it, you fix it, you remove it, whatever it takes, because we have been so focused on one way. This is not a one-way street. It's not a one-way street. I used to think it was, but it's not a one-way street. It is a destination with multiple ways to get to the destination. And because we have trapped people in thinking that this was a one way, and they couldn't fit into the way that we showed them, they went another way. And so you have to allow people to be their individual selves, because that's how God created us. Individual, but one. So we must allow, if the church is not allowing people to discover the greatest version of themselves, and they're not pointing to a tool that can assist you there. Now, what woke me up may not be the same that what woke you up.
Right.
But as long as we're woke. So that's my thing. I grew up in the church from my mom's womb till I was 50 something. And the picture that was painted for me was a false picture. So when I began to wake up and see and connect with the source, with the creator, then he began to show me the right picture. And I'm not saying I'm completely right. I'm saying the right road for me to travel.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And it was so convoluted that it caused confusion and division. And we know where that come from. That should tell you right there.
Right.
I'm gonna be quiet after I say this, but you have everything within you, ladies and gentlemen. You came here equipped.
Yes.
The code.
Yes.
With the right programming, with the right script. And here, when you refer to spirit, By going within, it says, okay, go into your closet. That means going in here. If you want to be literal and go in your closet and meditate, more power to you. But it means going within. What you say? What's your quote, co-host?
Once you go in, you'll never be without.
You'll never be without. When you go in, guess who in there waiting for you? Enlightenment. Yeah. And it
takes you out of basically it takes you out of fear. That's the main thing it takes you out of. It takes you out of trying to be. It takes you out of trying to fit in. It takes all of this stress away where you've been trying to fit in a mold that has been created by somebody else, and it's not your size.
No.
And have you ever put on some jeans that's not your size? How uncomfortable it is for you to maintain your breath, for you to maintain a walk or a talk. And so that's kind of been the squeeze that's been placed on us being in this system. The word says be not conformed, but that's just what we did. We conformed ourselves and we tried to fit into the condition. And now we're either ignorant or ignoring. And so when the portal opened, nobody should be ignorant. You just ignore walking in because it's something different. It's something new. It is not normal. No man. If you look at the word normal, it says no man. That means no man should be fitting in that suit. So there is no normal in the physical the way we see it.
Right. And you know what the thing is, I was texting one of my nieces yesterday. She had her homecoming, and I remember when she was a baby, and it's just like, ooh. And I asked her, I said, Gia, I said, do you listen to so and so? She said, not really. I said, well, may I just ask you that you really, when you're listening to these different rappers and stuff, just really listen to the lyrics. It's all about the lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
She says, I got you, TT. I got you. These young people, they know. Why? Because they're tapped in to the forces that are out there where people are screaming, hey, I felt like I was in hell. It was the devil there. The Lord told me not to do that. And, so I'm telling you, everybody that's been called to be here on assignment is spreading the word at every group, every level. I mean, these young people, they tapping in. They're telling everybody, look, man, look. And, it's up to us because we're in a different age demographic. But I'm telling you, every demographic is a representative of Christ, of God, of love, is at attention. And we operate in an assignment. So it's going to be just like that is being blatantly obvious. So are we. We're not afraid. I'm not afraid.
There's no such thing as fear. They just told us it.
You a soldier? They'd be like, go ahead. What you want to ask me? What? No. Because I know where I'm going. I'll be all right. I know no, I'm good.
Yeah. No. Nothing by any means shall hurt us.
Nothing.
And we look from the outside in, but it's the inside out. And if we don't start living inside out instead of outside in, we're going to continue to miss the opening. We're going to continue to miss the boat. But every knee shall bow.
We're going to have to talk about that one night. About every knee shall bow.
Every knee is going to worship the true and living God. So we're at the point of this opening where if the door is open, come on in. Bring everything you got. Bring everything you got. Your habits, your alcohol, bring it. Because the moment you step in there, you're going to recognize you don't even need it.
Yeah, the great thing about it is you eventually, all of that will be phased away from you.
Yes.
It will be phased away from you as you begin to elevate higher in your consciousness. As you begin to
Because
elevate
it
higher
doesn't fit. It
to a
doesn't fit.
different.
It's an armor that doesn't fit. I mean, don't worry about it. It doesn't fit. It's just like when the Black Abyss, I forgot his name. What is his name?
Calvin Street.
Calvin came on, and he showed me in just talking that old energy cannot fit into now. So when I begin to look at that, that's why it's a depression, because that old energy is trying to get into now energy, and they're clashing. And you're getting frustrated because it does not fit. It's like trying on a shoe that's too small and you keep pushing it will not fit. And so when we get that energy flowing in the same portal, in the same opening, it's not going to even fit. It won't come in because it doesn't fit.
No.
I'm excited about it not fitting. I used to be upset when some of my clothes didn't fit. It just says I'm expanding.
Your territory is being enlarged.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. I mean, and we'll try to go back to that. We'll try to go back to that instead of going forward. Now, I'm not saying you should just eat yourself until you just can't fit nothing. But I'm saying that the times that we recognize that we are moving from one place to another, but we're so busy trying to go back and go back to what? God cannot open something new for you if you're steady trying to go back. And so we have to allow ourselves to see that every day is new. They may call it Monday tomorrow, but it's going to be a new Monday. We were talking about these are the last days. Every day is the last day of that day. And we move into a new age. But if we're going to continue to look back what happened yesterday, we're going to continue to stifle the growth that God has provided for us in this new age. It's flipped already. And if you're not woke to it,
it is so exciting. It
is
so exciting.
Yeah.
It's so exciting because I didn't know. I arrived here on this planet. We're going to get to talk. I arrived to this planet and I've always had a connection and I know where I come from.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. And I know who I am. And I always known that. I didn't think that it would look like this. I knew the world would have ended and everything, and that was my interpretation because, like you, I was teaching Sunday school at 9 years old, teaching little kids, because that's how much I loved the word. That's how much I wanted to be a good girl, and I wanted to make God happy because that was what we were taught, right? So I know it's a very interesting time because we're seeing everything play out because we were programmed from a basic instruction before leaving Earth. And instead of us being focused on what we should have focused on, we were focused on the fear-induced version that was mixed in with it. And so now we're seeing it. We're seeing it.
We're experiencing it because I mean, from a little girl, I always heard my mom say, my mom or my grandmother, somebody saying, these are the last days, these are the last days, these are the last days. And I kept saying, well, when are the last days? Because we keep saying these are the last days until God said every day is the last day. You'll never experience that day again. So that was the last day. That's one form of it, the way I look at it. There are multiple other forms. I just decided that the place and space that I would be allowed to go into the greatest version of myself. I don't know what's happening with my computer, but something is not right. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so when I allowed myself to wake up, now this is the awesome thing about it. we have to give ourselves permission to walk in newness. We won't give ourselves that permission that this is not working. So I'm going to walk into something new, because we're so afraid to let go of the old, because we're afraid that we won't know what to do with the new. But God said, if you lack wisdom, you have the power inside of you. There is nothing you should be lacking, especially wisdom. So I had to allow myself to say, something ain't right.
I just got tired of bumping, because after a while you get frustrated. You be like, man, what is going on? And you just like, God, you're following the practices, you're doing what you were taught and conditioned to believe to do, and you're like, wait a minute, something ain't right, something ain't right, something ain't right. And the great thing about it is, if you allow yourself to be set apart, then that's when spirit can talk to you. Because that's when I was able to just, who else was I going to talk to? After getting drunk for so many nights and crying over my experiences and how my husband left me and how this and that and whatnot and how I have to go alone and all that. Eventually, I got to a place where spirit said, okay, you ready to talk? I'm like,
yeah. And it was nothing. Nobody scared me into having a connection with God. Nobody. The hell story never scared me.
It never scared me one bit.
But just an opportunity to be able to see, it's something so great about seeing. Yeah. And when you can go in your own place in your space and you don't need nobody to tell you, you need to adjust this, and you begin to say, you take responsibility to say, it's time for me to adjust this. Enough is enough. When you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And then you begin to make the shift. But you're not going to have a cheering squad. You're not going to have.
What you going to have, co-host, is when it resonates with your spirit. Because I'll never forget walking into my little cottage. I was paying $400 a month. It was about this big. And I walked in and I had my DVR programs, and it was about The Secret. Now listen. And it was after I had asked God. I'm like, God, I don't understand. I just said, I don't understand. I've been serving you my whole life. I've been doing this and doing that. And I've been, why is it? Why? You got to ask the right questions. Why? And when I walked in, it was like, click. One light came on. I was like, okay. And I just like dived into it. Now, listen, when you are being on the road to waking up and be on the road to enlightenment, you don't need to know the end point. You don't need to know that. You just need to turn and go towards where you're being guided.
And that's where the trust comes in. That's where the trust comes in. Yeah.
Because I was just so tired of that. I was so tired of the fake, the phony, the fearful. I didn't want none of it. I didn't want to be tired of being forsaken, tired of being persecuted, all in the church. Look at her. It was just like, I'm like, what is this? I didn't want that.
Yeah, and we should be embracing and not making judgment calls, because if we actually look in the mirror, the very thing that we're judging someone else for is something that we're dealing with.
And see, that's why I'm pleading with people. Run, Forrest, run. Because you're under a spell and you're being programmed by a system. The one source system that's not of God. They purpose. And you've been operating the system. And we've been conditioned for that for over 400 years. Think about it.
Yeah. And 2020 was the 400 years was up. And we should have came out with substance. And I'm not talking about stuff. I'm talking about with knowledge, wisdom, light, unconditional love, freedom, our birthrights, inheritance, our nationality. all of those inside things were the things that you came out with substance, being awake, being enlightened, meditation for your medication, all of that which should have been on our backpacks and on our way out singing and being joyful. And some people want to go back.
No, let me tell you something. All I got for my substance, and that was all I needed, was a one of those little containers of Visine. That opened my spiritual eyes, and I was like, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my goodness, oh my goodness." You know, some of y'all, that's all y'all need is some Visine to open your spiritual eye. We already on topic, co-host, to open your spiritual eye so that you can finally see what the heck is going on. Now, the scripture inspiration for tonight is Proverbs 20:19, and the topic for tonight is mind's eye. I know you jumping off your seat, co-host, because this again is your wheelhouse. So
yes, the mind, and I don't think people really get how important the mind is. When we talk about you serve God with your mind, when we're talking about the mind's eye has eye. Listen, it has an eye, not eyes, and it has an ear, not ear. And so it's operating in the oneness of God. There's no double vision. There's no double-mindedness. There's just a single vision. So the Proverbs 29:18 says, where there is no vision. So these are the sleep people, because you can't see when you're asleep. Where there is no vision.
When you're blind. Or when you're blind now, your eyes are calcified. It's clogged up.
Right. So where there is no vision, the people perish. But he that keepeth the law, happy is he. And so if you don't have a mind's eye, if you're still asleep, if you're still blind, there's no way that you can be happy. There's no way that anybody can make you happy. Because what we need to understand is that some people are always looking for somebody else or something to make them happy. And so when you're looking at not having a vision, that means you can't see. So if you're looking for somebody and you can't see, how are you going to see them while you're looking for them? So it's like we are in such a bad place of stuff. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with having a nice house. But let me tell you something. I've seen a house yesterday. I said, okay, Lord, I'm loving it. But I'm just saying that should not be your focal point. Because again, I'm going back to see the King in all these things. See the King in all these things.
Stop
and
right
so,
there. Stop right there. Okay, so I have concluded, right, that everything that I've been imagining and seeing and getting these clues about all these wonderful things that, like the new house and all this kind of stuff, that's where I want to experience it on my new earth.
Okay.
I don't want it here. You want to know why? Because if I get it here, guess what? I got to get an alarm system. I got to get a Rottweiler bulldog. It's going to scare the heck out of hot dog. I got to get probably a gun because somebody going to break in, and then everybody going to be saying, "Oh, why you want to live in this big house? Don't you afraid somebody going to come in?" And I don't want none of that. So I want all of that to experience that on my new earth, where there's nothing but love and safety and joy and light. Now I get it. But you see what I'm saying? This place ain't our home. We have to keep reminding ourselves that. Because
it's one of the things that keep us there, thinking that we are dwellers here and not travelers. And so we try to experience the things that we've been taught dwellers have. Mm-hmm. This is what the dwellers have. They have this house, they have this bank account, they have this type job. But when the shift has come, that which is impartial goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Because now, even though you want that on the other side, just in case God wants to drop it off right now. Now, when we shift out, now if you didn't have no car note, no house note, no light bill, no gas bill, no phone bill, everything was free. When you accepted,
It wouldn't. I mean, yeah, you know. But like I
I'm
tell
just
you,
saying,
I am so detached from all of this stuff. Honestly,
and I get it, and I
you know.
get it.
But yeah, I get what you're saying, because I'm so detached now, because even when I get around somebody who's agitating me spiritually with stress and worry about this and that, like I was in a dealership yesterday because I had to take the loaner car back, and I'm paying on the ride along mobile because they say, I was like, well, I don't have that right now. They said, don't worry, we'll keep it for you for 3-4 weeks and you can pay on and get it out. I'm like, fantastic. Because I live where I live. I walk, hot dog and I walk every day to the pier, look at the beach, praise the Lord on the way back. We go to the dog park, play with his friends. It's all within a walking distance. From here to there is like less than a mile probably. So, I'm very at the grocery store across the street, the convenience stores on the corner. If I need something like to go somewhere or something, I don't really have to because everything's online. So it's very convenient for me. So I'm in there, right? And so I'm talking to the guy, because they were trying to, make some things happen. He was like, well, I just don't understand why I didn't have. I said, I don't stop worrying about it. He just kept talking about it. I'm like, why are you still talking about it? I'm so beyond what I'm like, I'm done with it. I'm like, well, why are you so focused on my situation? When I done decided, I'm okay with it. I've accepted, and I'm like, because people will try to get you because of their vision. He's like, well, if you do this, they're caught up in the system. And I'm like, man, I know the system is designed to help us fail. So why don't I'm just going to remove myself out of the system and trust in Almighty, knowing that everything that I need will be provided for me when I need it. When you get in that space, then you take your power back, and then none of these things will move you, because it's like none of it matters because you on assignment.
Right.
So I mean, I get what you're saying, and I don't know why I'm being so aggressive, but because I'm ready to go. The people that be retired, people that don't work for 25, 30 years retired, they be like, you know what? I'm gonna say what's finally on my mind all these years. I've been working on this, I'm just so like ready and so like excited to really just get out what I've been assigned to share and everything. I just want everybody to be liberated and free from all of this madness.
Yeah. And it all starts in the mind.
All in the mind.
Because the way that you are speaking about that you don't want these things, you have forsaken the condition that they learned us, and you have retrieved your memory about what you're due. That's why I say see the king first. When you begin to see the king, then you recognize if I'm in the image of the king and all of these things come with the king, then my focus is just seeing the king. It's not focusing on getting things. And that's where we are. We're trying to get things. It said, if you have no vision, then you're going to perish trying to pay for things. People got $700 and $800 car notes, and they don't have that type of income, and they're trying to compete and stay on this realm, and this is temporary. You'll never be able to stay on this realm, because I just told you that energy does not mix. And so it says the people are perishing, the people are losing their mind, the people are shooting up stuff, the people are stealing, the people are depressed, the people have anxiety because they have no vision. They can't see outside of this. This is all they see. But when you go in, you recognize this is temporary stuff. I don't care I don't care how much money you have right now or you had during 2020. When that virus hit, your money meant absolutely nothing. Because you couldn't do the same thing we couldn't do. Those of us who didn't have as much as you had in this fiat, in this energy on this side. But now God has brought us to an equal ground in the spirit. It's not based on your outside havings. It's based on what you have on the inside. This vessel that has this treasure inside of it. And if you allow yourself to see that, you'll stop worrying, you'll stop stressing, you'll stop being upset, you'll stop arguing with people.
All of it. Well, he was like, well, aren't you worried about this and that? I'm like, no, I don't care about that. I said, I really don't. I said, I'm really thinking about, I was like, I shared some things with him. Because I'm like, man, I can take that money I'm paying on that car and invest it, and in a year, come back and get it cash if I wanted to. I wanted to. I'm really contemplating the idea on my next step, because I'm open to my direction from my master general. I really am.
Yeah, because your mind's eye begins to see things that are internal and eternal. And then it begins to release you. We perish because we're not seeing internally and eternally. We're seeing externally. Yeah. And that's not real. And our spirit is saying that's not it. That's just a vehicle. You're talking about your car. That's just a vehicle.
And he
you
said
don't
to me,
get in that.
That's what he said. He said, aren't you? What about all the money you don't lost if you? I'm like, look, because I said it ain't real anyway. He looked at me like I was crazy. I know that all this stuff ain't real and it's on loan and all that. You losing money? No, I'm not. It ain't real.
It's energy, and it flows. It has to go out to come back in on this side. So if we don't get in the frequency and the wave of it, then we're always going to be stressed about it. I had to remember that the hard way, because there's not been anything that we have lacked in this last 18 months. There's nothing that has been turned off, disconnected, nothing. And so I am remembering that I have a Savior that's well able to take care of me if I give him the permission and allow him. There's a scripture, I think it's in Malachi, that says, I wanted to bless you, but your mouth was so stout against me.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Okay, so Jesus Christ, he was showing us and trying to share with us, take no thought. Take no thought. I mean, don't be stressed out and worried. Got scriptures all in there. Fret not, fear not, stress not. Don't stress out about it. When you get into that space, then you start operating as Christ did. He wasn't worried about nothing. He was on a boat in the middle of a storm and he was taking a nap. That should say to you that you should make peace your best friend. That you should rest in knowing. To take no thought of nothing. You get in that, you get into that place of power, and then you begin to not manipulate, but control the energies of this world to allow them to work for you and not against you. So with you being in that position, with me being in this place where, you know what, I don't matter to me and this and that, all things will work together for the good. But because we were brought up in a system of control and fear, worshiping something that's not even real. Oh, you need to have money for this. You need to have money for that. You got to go get money for that. We're so caught up and reprogrammed into that. Oh, what you gonna do if you lose your job? You just got the job. You're like, why are you trying to? you're surrounded by nothing but fear, and it's like it's designed and set up for you to fail. Because as soon as you get something, here comes fear. Through your mama, your auntie, or your sister, somebody, what you gonna do if something happened like that? Can I just rest in the fact that and can I just rest in my victory for a few minutes? You know what I mean? So it's all about that. But when you finally take your power back and isolate yourself from all of that, and if someone says something, say, well, it's under control.
Yeah, you become an interpreter. You begin to speak in tongues, like you said. When you said that, the man didn't know what you were saying because he's not used to that language. That he's used to someone.
Like when Jesus told him Lazarus, he said, "No, he just sleep."
Right. That's speaking in tongue or unknown tongue, because you're going against the condition and the spellings that have been placed on this side and created to be normal. We've been learned that. And so now we need to have the unlearned mind and get the mind's eye to be able to see a single vision of what God is doing in this time. It's different. It's not the same.
No.
You cannot force it to be the same, because it changes on a day-to-day basis. The energy changes. You cannot destroy energy, but you can increase it or decrease it. So you can't destroy it. That's why you can't be destroyed. My energy can go up or down, but you can't destroy me. And people have it in their head that you can manipulate people to destroy them. You can't destroy me. You just think you can. Now, if I think you can with you, then I'm touching and agreeing on some stuff. But you really cannot be destroyed. We just been learned that.
He said to fear not the one that can harm your body and body.
Right.
That can harm your body.
But that's not you. That is not you. That is the vehicle. You cannot be destroyed. Your energy cannot be destroyed. Nope. It may go up and down, but it cannot be destroyed. Nope. So the thing I'm going to close with is that God told me to say. He said your life should be evolved. No, it says your life should be to evolve yourself to be mentally available to serve others with a greater attitude of humility. Now, he was talking to me. Now, if y'all want to use it, that's fine. But we're evolving, like you say one day, we're evolving out of here. So my purpose is to serve. But I have to serve with a mind of humility that I'm evolving out of here. So I don't have time to judge you with my eyes, because the mind eye said, you're getting up out of here. You're a traveler. You're not a dweller.
See, dwellers create karma. Those are, I got a new definition for karma.
Okay, go ahead and get a definition.
Huh?
Get a definition.
Okay, so dwellers create karma. Those are the things that you have to come back to finish. Travelers don't leave no karma. They don't create none, and they don't leave none. Why? Because they know they on a journey. They don't need to set up no roots. They don't need to create nothing none of it, right? So, I mean, y'all can take that however y'all want it, but I'm just telling you right now, you need to clear up your karma. You need to uproot it. You need to disconnect from it. You need to do whatever spirit is telling you. Whether you need to go and seek forgiveness, forgive yourself, whatever it is you need to do, you need to clear this karma up now. Because
and the mind's eye is the vision. We're so focused on seeing something. My mind's eye hear more than it sees. And that sounds crazy because the ear is seeing. When a person loses their sight, their ear becomes more prone to everything. So my mind's eye is seeing the king.
Mhm. See the king.
And you just gotta evolve. You gotta be we
See
so
the king
tight.
first. I get it. See the king first.
See the king first.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when you see the king first, he gonna supply your needs. So you can't see the king and have some needs. You can't see the king and have some wants. Because he said, the Lord is your shepherd, you shall not want. You cannot see the king and be in need. That's the mind's eye.
That's the mind's eye. When you have the mind's eye, you begin to see clearly now.
The rain is gone.
The rain is gone, baby. Right. Another episode of the new season of Spiritually Speaking and Awakening. Co-host, we're doing the doggone thing. We are setting it in place. We are getting everything in place. We are sowing these wonderful seeds. I love that story in Revelation where it's talked about, you know, I'm talking about what would be 1,000 years of peace. Remember, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
That's the new earth.
Whew.
That's the place where he went to prepare for us. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Podcast listeners, thank you so much for tuning in and listening to Spiritual Speaking and Awakening with my amazing and marvelous host, Michelle Massey Washington. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity and the platform to release. I get sometimes clogged up because I don't have somewhere to release. So this is an opportunity for me to release just revelation, conversations that I have with God, and just release it out. I'm not trying to teach you anything.
You know what I was thinking about?
What?
This is how my mind worked. I said, what's those two prophets that they killed and they got back up again? I was thinking about that. Oh no, that's how my mind works. I be sending out queries all the time. What about who are these people? You know, all I'm saying is you're doing the Lord's work and it's marvelous.
I feel good about the opportunity to not be stuck. I was stuck for a long time and didn't know I was stuck. So I am really grateful to God for opening the portal. Before the portal got open, he opened it. So it's like there's nothing like living like this.
And the great thing about it is, before we signed that soul contract, agree to come down here to be of service, we already knew.
Yeah.
But before we got here, our memory was wiped clean.
Yes.
Come down here to remember. Why? So that we could gather intel during our orientation and training period, during our boot camp, so that we could become a fully equipped soldier to understand everything, the tactics and the schemes.
That's why I say we were put here to remember and not learn, because they learned us away, and now it's time for us to remember the way that God gave to us before we got in the womb. I think we're over time. So.
We're over. Thank you guys so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. Join us Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Right Along with Vanessa Morning Show. Michelle Massey Washington has also her broadcast that's on HAPS TV. I'm not sure when that comes on, but we'll talk about it and share more about it next week. But it's on HAPS TV, and it also streams through her social media pages and platforms. So check her out, Michelle Massey Washington on HAPS TV. There's our handle there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for caring. We are in the last days, and it's time for us to rise up and be the representatives of Christ. To be bold, to be beautiful, and to operate in a space of love. So, co-host, I keep telling everybody, I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I just feel it. I do. I feel it.
Yeah, I told you we evolving every day.
Mm-hmm. I feel it. So, thank you guys so much. No, I ain't suicidal. You just know when that when you almost done with work. You gotta know at the clock. So,
Yeah.
thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for caring. I am Vanessa Klinger, your intuitive life strategist and life coach motivator.
And I am Michelle, your spiritual evolutionist and your motivator. Namaste. Blessings and energy for your week. All positive energy.
Back at you. Yes, to everyone. Stay along. Thank you so much for watching again. Bye, my love. See you.
Bye.
Thank you for enjoying the show. If you have an awesome product or service that you would like Vanessa to promote, go to www.vanessaklinger.com/show sponsor, and we'll get back to you. We have monthly sponsorship programs, ad slots, all kinds of wonderful, great things to promote your product or service. Contact Vanessa today.